And we have another music for everyone. It's this time Skyfall, which the music was produced by English singer, but in this time we're gonna hear the chorus by Russian Army. And let's see, that's something new I heard recently. Thank you to our listeners and viewers. So let's our audience to listen that what chorus of Russian Army can sing, apparently in English as well. Okay, Skyfall by Russian chorus.
Hold your breath, feel it move.
So, 10 minutes, right? Okay, I have announcement, so half an hour
Hear
perfect.
my heart burst.
Yeah.
This is it.
Okay.
I'm driving dreams
Okay.
so all we do all day. So that's the way I'm slow.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely you can give my information. It's okay. People can call and I can answer any questions because I have very unusual phone calls that I can handle the whole time. I mean, I have all kinds of things. So you can pass the phone number. If I'm not able to pick up, they can do a message or text me. Sure. Because I have a lot of conferences coming up, which is high-tech conferences, so I have to have an always meet with the conference. That requires a lot of attention and work 24/7, kind of being prepared.
A thousand miles and birds apart. The birds collide, days are dark. You may have my number, you can take my name, but you never hear my heart. When this fire goes, when the ground falls, we just stand tall, facing all together. Let the sky fall, when the ground falls, we just stand tall, facing all together. Let the sky let the sky fall.
You'll have time like 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes.
Let the sky
When you go, I go. When you see, I see. I know I'll never be without the security of your loving arms, keeping me from harm. Put your hand in my hand and with my hand. Little stand tall, facing all together. Let the sky fall. Little stand tall, facing all together. Let the sky
После коммерческого брейка нужно быть. And we're coming back to Olga's show. And here is the information I received from Santa Clara County Dave Cartesi office. Plan Bay area makes sense for South Bay growth. What does Plan Bay area, the recently adopted regional transportation and land use strategy through 2040 mean for South Bay residents? The Bay Area is as unique as its rich rural towns, urban centers, and open space. We can choose our lifestyles from beachfront housing to urban centers, suburban tracts to farms and ranches. Long-range planning for the needs of future generation is essential to protect our economy and quality of life. With the Bay Area population projected to grow from 7 million to 9 million people, local elected officials and regional agencies develop Plan Bay Area by asking local cities and counties where and how they want it to grow over the next 3 decades. Local governments working with the Association of Bay Area Governments, ABAG, and the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, MTC, nominated priority development areas as well as areas that they wanted to preserve, such as single-family neighborhoods, open space, and agricultural land. As a result, the plan helps preserve small-town character in open space and maintains what makes our cities and towns unique. It also considers areas where local jurisdiction want to improve and expand housing near transit, jobs, and services. Santa Clara County's bustling regional nodes like San Jose, job centers like Palo Alto, and areas such as Milpitas that are planning for new mass transit connection to East Bay to the South Bay will continue to thrive under this plan. Rural areas will continue to enjoy their local towns' characters and the nuances that make them unique. The Bay Area currently contains about 2.1 million single-family homes. Under Plan Bay Area, by 2040 there will be about 2.3 million single-family homes, 200,000 more than today. In larger urban areas, closer to jobs, more new housing will be available to help people make connections and reduce commute times and improve their quality of life. Focusing more of the region's new housing in these urban areas allows us to take some of the pressure off smaller towns and rural areas. The Bay Area contains about 1.1 million multifamily units, which will increase to about 1.5 million units in 2040. Much of this housing will be built in the region's larger cities. Santa Clara County has 1.8 million residents with unique housing and transportation needs. The plan provides options for the range of people who live here by considering connections to transit, housing for all income ranges, proximity to jobs and open space. Cities with larger employment nodes function better when workers are able to take transit to work. This reduces pressure on highways and reduces downtown congestions. This is evidence to suggest that industries, in addition to locating and employment campuses, are interested in locating in highly functional city centers. An important element of Plan Bay Area will be improve the connection from the East Bay to San Jose with new BART extension. As a result of Plan Bay Area, many things will stay the same, and planning for new development will be coordinated in a supportive way. The plan was developed to meet the requirements of California's landmark 2008 Senate Bill 375. In 2 years, Plan Bay Area will be revisited to make sure it is on track and adjusted as needed. It is not a static document, but a work in progress. Dave Cartesi represents District 3 on the Santa Clara County Supervisor and its immediate past president of a BAG. He wrote this for the newspaper called San Jose Mercury News, and we were very happy to read this to you, so you will be aware of future development in our Santa Clara County and South Bay. So here we are at Olga show. We have more interview coming up here in our station, so stay with us. We will have small break, which is a commercial break. Thank you to our sponsors who supports us. I know that we are currently on the Ustream. You can find us on Ustream. Just search Olga Show and you will see what we are doing in the studio. And also this information would be available to you on YouTube under Olga Show. You can find it at www.olga-show.com, and you will see more videos which we produce here in the studio, and all other interviews which we were not able to put it on because we have only 3 hours every week here Saturday night. We're also available by TV, Korea TV, on local channels 15 every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. So please let us know of your needs and let us know who is the most interesting person, is company or event coming up in our Bay Area, and we will be sure to cover that for you. As now we will have commercial break. Stay with us and enjoy the weather because summer is almost ending, and luckily in California we have summer all year round, no snow where I came from. So enjoy our program, Olga Show, and also u923fm.com and Ustream with our wonderful video production just for our listeners and viewers, especially all outside of Silicon Valley. Olga Show for you. And we coming back to Olga Show, and for us interesting information, 10 simple things you can do to be happier, which is backed by science. Okay, number 1, happiness is so interesting because we all have different ideas about what it is and how to get it. I would love to be happier, as I'm sure most people would, so I thought it would be interesting to find some ways to become a happier person that are actually backed up by science. Here are 10 of the best ones have been found. Exercise more. You might have seen some talk recently about the scientific 7-minute workout mentioned in New York Times. So if you thought exercise was something you didn't have time for, maybe you can fit it in after all. Exercise has such a profound effect on our happiness as well being that it's actually being proven to be an effective strategy for overcoming depression. In a study cited in Sean Eicher's book, The Happiness Advantage, 3 groups of patients treated their depression with either medication, exercise, or combination of the two. The results of this study really surprised all of the people. Also, all of the 3 groups experienced similar improvements in their happiness level to begin with. The follow-up assessments proved to be radically different. The groups were tested 6 months later to assess their relapse rate. Of those who had taken the medication alone, 38% had slipped back into depression. Those in the combination group were doing only slightly better, with a 31% relapse rate. The biggest shock, though, came from the exercise group. The relapse rate was only 9%. Okay, that was from the Happiness Advantage book, The 7 Principles of Positive Psychology. You don't have to be depressed to gain benefit from exercise. It can help you to relax, increase your brain power, and even improve your body image, even if you don't lose any weight. A study in the Journal of Health Psychology found that people who exercised felt better about their bodies, even when they saw no physical changes. Body weight, shape, and body image were assessed in 16 males and 18 females before and after both 40 minutes exercise and about 40 minutes reading. Over both conditions, body weight and shape did not change. Various aspects of body image, however, improved after exercise compared to before. We are explored exercise in depth before and looked at what it does to our brains, such as releasing proteins and endorphins that makes us feel happier. As you can see, if you, after sitting quietly, the brain usually more relaxed, and usually scan will show that of the brain image, and brain after 20 minutes of walk will show far more effective brain and more colors in the brain area by scanning the brain. That was done by Dr. Chuck Hillman, University of Illinois. Sleep more. We know that sleep helps our bodies to recover from the day and repair themselves, and that it helps us focus and be more productive. It turns out it's also important for our happiness. In Nature Shocks Paul Bronson and Ashley Merriman explain how sleep affects our positivity. Negative stimuli get processed by the amygdala. Positive or neutral memories gets processed by the hippocampus. Sleep deprivation hits the hippocampus harder than the amygdala. The result is that sleep-deprived people fail to recall pleasant memories, yet recall gloomy memories just fine. In one experiment by Walker, sleep-deprived college students tried to memorize a list of words. They could remember 81% of the words with a negative connotation, like cancer, but they could remember only 31% of the words with a positive and neutral connotation, like sunshine or basket. The BPA's Research Digest explores another study that proves sleep affects our sensitivity to negative emotions. Using a facial recognition task over the course of a day, the researchers studied how sensitive participants were to positive and negative emotions. Those who worked through the afternoon without taking a nap became more sensitive late in the day to negative emotions like fear and anger. Using a face recognition task, here we demonstrate an amplified reactivity to anger and fear emotions across the day without sleep. However, an intervening nap blocked and even reversed this negative emotional reactivity to anger and fear, while conversely enhancing ratings of positive happy expressions. Of course, how well and how long you sleep will probably affect how you feel when you wake up, which can make a difference to your whole day. Especially this graph showing how your brain activity decreases. It's a great insight about how important enough sleep is for productivity and happiness. Another study tested how employees' moods when they started work in the morning affected their workday. Researchers found that employees' moods when they clocked intended to affect how they felt the rest of the day. Early mood was linked to their perception of customers and to how they reacted to customers' moods. And most importantly, to managers, employee mood had a clear impact on performance, including both how much work employees did and how well they did it. Sleep is another topic we are looked into before exploring how much sleep we really need to be productive. And you can find more information in the lifehacker.com. So we come into our musical break for our listeners by
Yuri Antonov.
so it's Yuri Antonov.
Yes, it's Yuri Antonov. It's Under Your House Roof instrumental music. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. Приведи сюда, Аркадия. Yes, I understand, but we will put them right now. Потому что я не знаю, где американец. Они звонят. I cannot do 10 вещей в одно и то же время. Что они мне звонят? Они должны были все узнать до того, как приходят сюда. Подойди сюда, We are coming back live on air show, and this is Olga's show for you. We continue about 10 happier things to make us to feel happier and healthier. So we talk about sleep more, do exercise, and now move closer to work. Our commute to the office can have a surprisingly powerful impact on our happiness. The fact that we tend to do this twice a day, 5 days a week, makes it unsurprising that its effect would build up over time and make us less and less happy. According to the art of manliness, having a long commute is something we often fail to realize will affect us so dramatically. While many voluntary conditions don't affect our happiness in the long term because we actually acclimate to them. People never get accustomed to their daily slog to work because sometimes the traffic is awful and sometimes it's not. Or as Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert put it, driving in traffic is a different kind of hell every day. We tend to try to compensate for this by having a bigger house or a better job, but this compensation just don't work. Two Swiss economists who studied the effect of commuting on happiness found that such factors could not make up the misery created by a long commute. Spend time with friends and family. Staying in touch with friends and family is one of the top 5 regrets of the dying. If you want more evidence that it's beneficial for you, I have found some research that proves it can make it happier right now. Social time is highly valuable when it comes to improving our happiness, even for introverts. Several studies have found that time spent with friends and family makes a big difference to how happy we feel generally. I love the way Harvard happiness expert Daniel Gilbert explains it. We are happy when we have family. We are happy when we have friends. And almost all the other things we think make us happy are actually just ways of getting more family and friends. George Vaillant is the director of a 72-year study of the lives of 268 men. In an interview in the March of 2008 newsletter to the grant study subjects, he was asked, those 268 men, what have you learned from the grant study? And Vailant's response was that the only things that really matters in life are your relationship to other people. He shared insights of the study with Joshua Wolf-Schenck at the Atlantic on how the men's social connections made a difference to their overall happiness. And here what they found. The man's relationship at age 47, he found, predicted late life adjustment better than any other variables except defenses. Good sibling relationships seems especially powerful. 93% of the men who were thriving at age 65 had been close to a brother or sister when younger. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Socioeconomics states that your relationships are worth more than 100,000. Used the British Household Panel survey, I found out that an increase in the level of social involvements is worth up to an extra 85,000 euros a year in terms of life satisfaction. Actual changes in income, on the other hand, by very little happiness. I think that last line is especially fascinating. Actual changes in income, on the other hand, by very little happiness. So we could increase our annual income by hundreds of thousands of dollars and still not be as happy as if we increase the strength of our social relationships. The Terman study, which is covered in the Longevity Project, found that relationships and how we help others very important factors in living long, happy lives. And that's what we can read. We figure out that if a Terman participant sincerely felt that he or she had friends and relatives to count on when having a hard time, then that person would be healthier. Those who felt very loved and cared for were predicted would live the longest. Surprise! Our prediction was wrong. Beyond social network size, the clearest benefit of social relationships came from helping others. Those who helped their friends and neighbors, advising and caring for others, tended to live to old age. Go outside. That's another way of being healthier and happier. In the Happiness Advantage, Sean Atcher recommends spending time in the fresh air to improve your happiness. Making time to go outside on a nice day also delivers a huge advantage. One study found that spending 20 minutes outside in good weather not only boosted positive mood, but broadened thinking and improved working memory. This is pretty good news for those of us who are worried about fitting new habits into our already busy schedules. 20 minutes is a short enough time to spend outside that you could fit into your commute or even your lunch break. A UK study from the University of Sussex also found that being outdoors made people happier. Being outdoors near the sea on a warm, sunny weekend afternoon is the perfect spot for most. In fact, participants were found to be substantially happier outdoors in the natural environments than they were in urban environments. The American Meteorological Society published research in 2011 that found current temperature has a bigger effect on our happiness than variables like wind speed and humidity, or even the average temperature over the course of a day. It also found that happiness is maximized at 13.9 Celsius. To keep an eye on the weather forecast before heading outside for your 20 minutes of fresh air. One of the most counterintuitive pieces of advice have been found that to make yourself feel happier, you should help others. So, helping others. In fact, 100 hours per year or 2 hours per week is the optimal time we should dedicate to helping others in order to enrich our lives. If we go back to Sean Atcher's book again, he says that this about helping others. When researchers interviewed more than 150 people about their recent purchases, they found that money spent on activities such as concert and group dinners out brought far more pleasure than material purchases like shoes, televisions, or expensive watches. Spending money on other people, called prosocial spending, also boosts happiness. The Journal of Happiness Studies published a study that explored this very topic. Participants recalled a previous purchase made for either themselves or someone else and then reported their happiness. Afterward, participants chose whether to spend a monetary windfall on themselves or someone else. Participants assigned to recall a purchase made for someone else reported feeling significantly happier immediately after this recollection. Most importantly, the happier participants felt, the more likely they were to choose to spend a windfall on someone else in the near future. So, spending money on other people makes us happier than buying stuff for ourselves. What about spending our time on other people? A study of volunteering in Germany explored how volunteers were affected when their opportunities to help others were taken away. Shortly after the fall of the Berlin Wall, but before the German reunion, the first wave of data of the GSOEP was collected in East Germany. Volunteering was still widespread. Due to the shock of the reunion, a large portion of the infrastructure of volunteering, for instance, sports clubs associated with firms, collapsed and people randomly lost their opportunities for volunteering. Based on comparison of the change in the subjective well-being of these people and of people from the control group who had no change in their volunteer status, the hypothesis is supported that volunteering is rewarding in terms of higher life satisfaction. In this book, Flourish, a Visionary New Understanding of Happiness and Well-being, University of Pennsylvania professor Martin Seligman explains that helping others can improve our own lives. These scientists have found that doing a kindness produces the single most reliable momentary increase in well-being of any exercise we have tested. And then, of course, practice smiling. Smiling itself can make us feel better, but it's more effective when we back it up with positive thoughts, according to this study. A new study led by Michigan State University business scholars suggest customer service workers who fake smile throughout the day worsen their mood and withdrawn from work, affecting productivity. But workers who smile as a result of cultivating positive thoughts, such as tropical vacation or a child recital, improve their mood and withdraw less. Of course, it's important to practice real smiles when you use your eye sockets. It's very easy to spot the difference.